So good morning, welcome to another Feel Good Friday, and today's topic is make a difference in your experience and reap the rewards. And really what we're trying to do in a week by week kind of element is just to give you a little nugget so you can go ahead and actually look at that kind of element within the business and slightly tweak it in one way or another, and then eventually basically it should make a difference. I'm trying to lose a load of weight at present, and my idea is if I can just lose £1 per week, that's £52 in a year. That's a lot of weight. In the same way, if you can do one little thing within your business every week, then basically you're going to make a big difference towards the end. When you kind of stockpile them up, they can get a little bit heavy on you and things really. So today we're looking at make a difference in your experience and reaping the awards, as it were. Now, you'll probably be aware that I run a group called the Experience Group of Photographers, which is mainly business based, but we do look at the photography. But one of the things at the heart of it is looking at the customer experience overall. So today we're predominantly looking at, as I said, trying to make the differences, and I've got them up on screen so you can kind of copy them down and kind of analyze them to begin with, and actually kind of pick and cherry pick what you feel is the one thing that you want to take from today that you can action, put in place, so by next week it's done, out of the way and things really. So we're going to talk first of all about real client contact. The more you invest into understanding the client, you will basically engage with them more, and they will engage with you more, and they will feel more special. Now, I know if you're running perhaps a business by yourself, whether it's a lifestyle business through choice or a lifestyle business because you can't really move on any further, in other words, you're a bit stuck in the mud. But whatever we're doing, contacting the client is one of the essential elements, and getting the client ready for everything that we're doing and things ready. So when we talk about contacting the client, so I within the group try and encourage an automated booking system so they can basically make money while they sleep, as it were. However, it doesn't mean that you don't really get to talk to your client in any way prior to the session. In fact, one of the most important parts for us is to fully engage with our clients leading up to the event. And whereas probably when we pick up the phone, we're usually trying to get hold of the woman, let's say within the family, or the kind of the person who is the booker is usually a woman. But of course, we need to also understand the rest of the family and kind of engaging with them. So if I was photographing a family, if possible, I want to know a lot about not just the kids. I want to know a lot about mum, and I want to know a lot about dad as well. If I can, I need to try and engage after the booking and before the session with both the parents, so they can basically both tell me a little bit about what their family is about and how they engage together and so on. The more that we can concentrate on them, then basically we should end up with a bigger sales room. That goes without saying. We should also end up with a much more prepared client for the actual session itself. I've heard for decades from photographers, or I chatted with a client, we discussed what to bring in, and they just didn't bring anything in. It's probably because you're not fully engaging with the customer. They're not absolutely engaging with you and what you're saying. You might feel that you're saying the right things, but in fact you might be just almost a by the way. And I'd always encourage you to record yourself in any conversations. And I know we all kind of cringe listening to ourselves, but pretty much everybody's got a smartphone of some kind today, and being able to video your call, just you don't even need to hear what they're saying, but if you can video your call and you can hear what you're saying and replay it fully, you'll pretty much start to realize that you might not be fully engaging with the client as much as you actually think you are. And if you've got somebody else doing it for you as well, are they actually following this through in the same way that you need them to do it and things? So after the booking and before the session, if you can give a little bit more time, another 3 to 5 minutes worth of call, then that's absolutely essential. You might even find that, you know, your pre-session call after the booking, in other words, is around about 10 to 15 minutes long in all. And that sounds like absolutely ridiculous. But the whole point, what we're trying to do is maximize the sales room. And what we've got to do from the beginning is make a difference to the experience to the client. And if they can feel that you are investing into them, then all of a sudden there's emotional attachment to you more. And so they're beginning to actually engage with you more. Okay, I get it, that 20% of the clients might basically spend a lot less still. However, the 80% of the client, if we cannot just add 50 quid onto an average or £100 onto the average, but if we could even have the dare of the thought to double the average, it can be a complete game changer, especially in these times ahead where we're in this little bit of a recession. It's going to happen no matter what with it. So the people who we need to engage with are the ones who can afford to be engaged with. And we've been talking about this within my experience group since the beginning of the year, looking at the cost of living, how that was going to affect us, not expecting a full recession to hit us. But we're kind of being prepared for a little bit more. Now, some are going to be more prepared than others. Some are going to actually go, okay, I need to make a difference in May or June of 2022 instead of waiting until the kind of the panic level of 2023. So the after booking, after automated booking, the human the contact needs to go beyond the basic hello and thanks for booking and here's some information and so on. You need to fully engage. And I'm not just on about families, I'm on about whether you're a boudoir photographer, a child photographer, a dog photographer, headshot photographer, whatever it is, you need to engage with them. Pre the session then, between about 3 and 5 days beforehand, there should be another quick call. This again is to remind about the engagement. It's not to be as long a conversation as we had at the booking stage, but it's to kind of get them pre-engaged. We also call these a part of the pre-session fixes, where we can kind of make sure that we are basically capturing the essence of what we discussed beforehand, because we made notes. We can refer back to those notes and this pre-session call to ensure that the client is engaged. Or we talked about the family is really into gardening together, or going for a walk, or on their bikes, wherever it is. Engage with that more. Is it possible for you to get your bikes to us? You know, if you've got a first floor studio, you might think, oh, that's the last thing I want is dragging bikes upstairs and so on with it. So you might kind of or automatically disengage with that kind of thing. What else can you get them bringing in? Can they do their helmets? Can they bring, you know, what else do they do when they're actually going out with their bikes and so on? Or can we just get like a child's bike up the stairs or so on with it? But the pre-session engagement is still re-engaging them into all the effort that we made at the booking stage. After the session, what I refer to the PSPS, the post-session pre-selling, it's at this stage we really need to explain and go through with the client everything to do with the sales room and what's going to happen next. We chatted about the wall when we were kind of having a session chat once you made the booking, and I just wanted to actually go through with you what we were on about. I mentioned about a 40-inch being ideal for above a 3-seater sofa, as you can see here on our wall. So this is our time to physically, fully, visually engage them with the product at this stage. And the reason that we always show one bigger than we're expecting to sell is so that the one we're expecting to sell is an easier sell, instead of basically being feeling like they're having to buy the biggest on display and so on with it. So if we've got a 30-inch is going to be our main sales product, we definitely need a 40-inch on our wall to start with the discussion. So then we can say most people buy our 30-inch perfect above a fire breast or a 2-seater sofa or a small feature wall, etc. So after the session, it's absolutely essential. In the same way, after session contact, but before they get to the actual viewing stage, we need to make sure that they've engaged with our make your house a home page or our price list or whatever it is. So just a kind of a text, really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. If my dentist can send a message to me 3 days before me going in, then you as a photographer can definitely send to your clients a good engagement, and not as a reminder, but just as to kind of build up the excitement more. Oh my God, you're going to love the photographs. You know, it might feel a little bit false for you at times, but just engaging with that can get them a little bit more excited, and you might actually reduce the amount of no-shows that you have at the viewing stage. And then as far as the contacting the client prior to the collection, keeping them in touch. Now, I know if you're running a lifestyle business, a one-person business as such as well, it's very frustrating, actually, all these contacts and so on. But at that prior to collection, you might think, well, what's the point? All I need to do is quickly kind of get in touch with the client, tell them that their photographs are here ready for collection, and that's it. However, engaging into the conversation with them for just another 2 minutes might make your refer a friend part of the business engage with the clients just that little bit more and things really. If you're a busy person, we all are, yes, I get it. We need to kind of create a series of things to make it a little bit easier for both us and for anybody who works for us. So a series of scripts, and getting the person to rehearse them with you. If you're the one who's doing all the calls and so on with it, then as I said, make those videos so you can actually watch yourself exactly what you're saying. In the same way, you should be doing that with anybody that you employ so that you can fully engage with them. But again, if you haven't got a series of email flows like we've touched on in previous weeks, if you haven't got something to help them know what to bring in with them and something that you can discuss whilst you're on the pre-engagement call, if you haven't done your pre-session fix, probably you're a photographer who's a little bit frustrated and wondering why people don't spend as much with you as they do with others, or wondering why they don't spend with you at all. You're wondering why they even kind of buy a school's pack of photographs for 50 quid and they're not even spending that with you. So it's about kind of looking inward at this pace and kind of looking at what we can physically change. And all I'm asking you to do, remember, is look at one of these things in front of us today and make the difference with it. So whether it's going to be from today, make their house a home page, in other words, being able to show products on walls, do some kind of video, show it on your website, feature it on your social often, not just once, be an amazing photographer, kind of basically create more images where they're going to absolutely think they're the best photographs they've ever had in their life, and act like that amazing photographer with a confidence in your step as well, and not just a feeling like you're just another client going through the doors. And I would say, and you can tell from how much time I spent on it in the first part, the stay in touch part. I think the stay in touch, that after the booking, that human contact, that engagement in them and their family and whoever they are. And remember, even though I concentrated on a family, it would work in exactly the same way as far as a boudoir client is concerned. Get to know them, get to know what they do for work, get to know what they do for a hobby, kind of what kind of clothes do they like to wear, what kind of lingerie, where do they shop for lingerie, and so on with it and things. So you can really spin everything that I'm saying around into your genre of photography, but what you've got to really do is to make sure that you make a difference to your experience as far as how the client perceives your experience, not how you perceive the experience. So look inwardly this week and just apply one thing. That's it. That's just the one thing, because if we can change just one thing and we can keep that one thing going all the time, a bit like I shared with you about my weight loss, that unless I make a difference, nothing will change. So by going swimming at 6 a.m, cutting down, changing food, changing diet, we'll naturally lose weight eventually, but I'm not trying to do it all in a quick fix. What I'm trying to do is a steady eddy, and that is what a business change can actually work with. So thanks for joining me live on another 13 steps. Remember, if you're interested in the experience group, or if you're interested in some of the experience secrets as such, then you can head across to the experiencegroup.co.uk/experience-secrets. You can find that from the experience group page as well with things really. And by registering there, you'll actually be able to get access to some of the secrets behind the scene, as it were. Thanks for joining me live. As I said, next week we're going to be talking about session 11, which is our best spenders are our best referrals, where we're going to be looking at how we can get the client to spend more without the hard sell, and then how we can get those same people to actually become our best referrers.